Now, listen, you guys, why am I waking up to this absolutely ridiculous news of a fan allegedly suing Nicki Minaj, for $5 million and going through the lawsuit? It's not making any sense. And we're also going to be discussing about Uncle Luke out there asking female rappers to write him a check because, according to him, he feels like, well, he opened the doors, for them. And we're also going to be talking about Nicki opening up about her early life, as well as this entire Chloe Bailey and Halle Bailey hello situation. Now, these are some of the things that we will be discussing in this video. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea blog. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's team. So first of all, let us talk about this entire situation with this Tamir fan who's out there allegedly suing Nicki Minaj. Now, personally, never had an interaction with the person, but I did see some people asking each other on Instagram. One person said, "Well, who is this person?" And then somebody said, "Well, that's somebody who's out there always sort of stalking Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, and he attends all of their shows." And somebody said that, well, he is the alien that was following Beyonce around during the Renaissance tour. So I was just like, oh my goodness, who is this person? So this is what TMZ is reporting. And we will also discuss about why I'm saying this entire thing is not making any sense. So allegedly, this person is suing Nicki Minaj for slander, and because Nicki, according to him, Nicki referenced to him as a stalker, and so that's what he's suing Nicki Minaj for. So TMZ writes, Nicki has an annoyed, fan on her hands. One of her avid fans claims Nicki publicly humiliated him by calling him a mentally unstable stalker, and so now he is, suing. And so what he's accusing Nicki Minaj of doing. So according to TMZ, Tamia says things 2017 when, according to the lawsuit, Nicki went through her H-train phase, leading her to accuse fans like Tamia of being paid moles sent to sabotage her. But was she wrong now? Now that we're looking at how you're behaving right now, is everything okay? Like, now that we're looking at how you are now, could it be far-fetched that something is definitely happening? Now, whether this lawsuit gets thrown away or not, your name is attached to this, and Nicki is in the news for silly things like this. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So obviously, I mean, any person will have speculations and questions like, are you indeed a paid mole? Like, what are you? Do you get what I'm saying? So he also allegedly claims that Nicki publicly ridiculed him, inviting him to a hotel in one occasion to film and embarrass him out of 100,000 viewers on an Instagram live. So he's alleging that all this happened in 2017. I need you guys to catch that. And then he goes ahead to say that, well, Nicki mistreated him during a Super Bowl weekend event in 2020 when her husband, Kenneth Petty, allegedly the B word him. So now I'm just looking at this and I'm like, okay, in 2017, you're saying Nicki disrespected you. 2020, you were also still in Nicki Minaj's proximity. Like, I really need to see the receipts of these claims that he's saying. And the reason why I'm questioning all of this, do you see how magically Kenneth Petty is in this entire thing? Do you get what I'm saying? The people that want to come for Nicki Minaj, do you know that, well, once they attach Kenneth Petty, people are going to be like, well, Nicki's husband has done that. Nicki's husband is going to be her downfall. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay, so he is alleging that in 2017, there was some disrespect. In 2020, there was some disrespect. And then it goes on to say, then in 2024, he says he got messages from others that Nicki wanted him to stop saying dumb-ish, hurting his reputation with her fans. So I want to understand, if somebody says, please stop saying, including my name in mess, they're not allowed to do that. This is the thing with, familiarity. And I think that's the same problem that Nicki suffers with a lot of these female rappers. Once they have access to her, once they feel like they are familiar with her as an artist, as an A-lister, they start to sort of feel like, well, we're on the same level. Or, well, they start feeling like they're the same. And sometimes that's the disadvantage of familiarity. With Nicki Minaj trying to be accommodative of the Barbs, of looking at them as family, that breeds entitlement. Entitlement to a point where one can get unfollowed today and they feel like, oh my God, you don't deserve to do that because I've supported you. Because if it's true that this man has attended more than 10 gig cities, something is not like, did you get, there's one, it's one thing to be supportive of someone, but when it gets to that extreme of you not missing every single gig city and it's your own money, now we're sort of kind of thinking, is everything okay, you know? And so now, my thing is, it's not making sense because you're saying 2017 and 2020, Kenneth Petty allegedly put his hands on you, but in 2024, you're still running around attending gig city. So make it make sense, really. Make it make sense, honestly. So I'm not really I'm not really taking this entire lawsuit seriously. I did hear rumors that, well, maybe the lawsuit actually got thrown out, and yeah. And he's also accusing Nicki Minaj of calling him, not stable, because she said it's clear they're not necessarily, a full basket at the picnic. And I don't think Nicki mentioned his name here, so no name, no case. But anyway, you guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about this ridiculous thing. This is absolutely ridiculous. And for somebody who's out there fighting to not be called, slow, this is a weird thing to do. And at this point, I feel like people just need to be treated the way the Transformer treats her fans sometimes, because kindness sometimes can big fire like this. Okay? If Nikki was out there treating you as, the fans that you are, you wouldn't even like it. So honestly, this sucks. I do know that, well, maybe the case will get thrown away, but the fact that this is even making waves when Nicki is out there ready to release a deluxe version of her album and going back on tour, honestly, it kind of sucks. I don't like this at all. I feel like this man is very weird, very, very weird in my own opinion. And yeah, this is why I feel like any Barb who's out there acting, oh, I'm an edgy Barb and things, like, you need to look at those people carefully, because majority of the times, yeah, they have left the fan base, but they just don't want to let go of the engagement that they get from posing as being Nicki Minaj fans. Because it's one thing to call somebody out, but it's another thing to be disrespectful and to set somebody up for getting dragged on Twitter. And I do see a lot of Barbs do that. People want engagement, people are out there leading the peg for disrespect, and they will say, oh, we're just playing, oh, we're just joking. Even in real life, we all have friends who do that. Like, you're in a social gathering, you're in a social setting, they set up the torn for you, for you to be made fun of for things like that. And they're like, you can't take a jog. This is very annoying. That's why I'm now rambling, because listen, it's annoying, especially when it's coming from seemingly the inside. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about, still talking about Nicki Minaj, she decided to share with her fans, some parts of her life, via Instagram. She said, I got my first summer job when I was 13. At 17, I graduated with a drama and an academic diploma, class of 2000. I got my first full-time job that year that I graduated. I wanted fast money. I had to pay rent. I had to pay rent at my parents' house. In hindsight, I wouldn't trade it for anything. One day you will see that the hard times in the past makes for easier times in your future. Now, this honestly is inspiring to me. Somebody was coming out here and saying, I decided to take the long route. I feel like our generation is so obsessed with instant gratification. Like, you don't want to do the work. You don't want to. That's why people find themselves in shady business, shady things, is because they just want a quick buck. They don't want to work. Like, I never respect somebody who's out there making fun of people for, working at, at KFC, at McDonald's, at stuff. I really just, when I see somebody making fun of somebody for working an honest job, for me, that's just so shallow, in my own opinion. Now, she said, your best days are ahead. Wanting more out of life, being a hard worker, or even a perfectionist does not mean you have to beat up on yourself. You can be honest you can be honest with yourself, take accountability, and learn from your mistakes without beating up on yourself. When you master how to do that, you will master your biggest challenge. Because when you master that, you've mastered self-love, and more importantly, self-forgiveness. You will laugh more, smile more, breathe more, appreciate the little things a lot more. Then you will draw all the things you once chased. You will know you are closer to the ultimate peace within when you chase nothing and no one, not in an arrogant way, never in an arrogant way, never look down on anyone. That is one of the easiest ways to lose a big blessing, but in the way that your faith will be so real that stressing will actually begin to feel silly for you. And those opportunities that used to seem as if they were always slipping away will all of a sudden be right there in abundance. Okay, I saw this and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautifully put. This is so uplifting. That was so touching to me and so motivating as well. What do you guys think about the advice that Nicki Minaj decided to come out here and give her fans? Okay, and the next thing that we're going to be talking about, Missy Elliot penned down a message for Aaliyah, and I was like, oh my God, this is so touching. She said, your impact on music is still being felt and studied by the generations behind you. They love seeing your style and music. And music was different over 20 years ago. And till this day, you are still that trendsetter. Prayers for you and your family, the families of those other talented lives who left with you on this day. You will never be forgotten. And then she put that together with a picture of Aaliyah. Now, when we talk about musical icons, these are the people that we talk about. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, what would music have been like, especially the R&B space, had Aaliyah been around even up to this day? I really do wonder sometimes, seeing how much she has done in those past years now, thinking if she had evolved over all those years up to now, yeah, an icon, and may her soul rest in peace. Now, the next thing that we are going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Bretman Rock. It seems like he's out there giving Nicki Minaj, her flowers. It was basically saying that, well, he felt inspired by Queen Radio, when he was out there naming his podcast and setting up, obviously, the podcast. He says that, well, he was, inspired by Nicki's Queen Radio. His podcast is called The Baddest Radio, I think. And I personally do miss Queen Radio, you guys. I miss Queen Radio. Those were the days. I mean, we want it back. But let me know in the comment section, you guys. It seems like everybody else outside of female rap does not have any problem with giving Nicki Minaj the flowers that she so deserves. It's our sisters in female rap that have this problem, because somehow they really do feel like once they sell 20K, they are already in competition with Nicki Minaj, and Nicki is their rival. And I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's not how it works. Now, Uncle Luke is out there calling on all the female rappers. Now, he was cussing a lot, so I will see if I can insert the video of him talking about this. But he's saying that, well, all these girls need to cut him some checks because he opened the door and sort of paved the way for them to be able to say all these words that they say in their songs and things like that. He mentioned Miss Red, he mentioned Paprika Spice, he mentioned Bongo too. And so he was like, oh, well, I paved the way, you guys should cut me a check. And I'm like, if anything, if you're responsible for the hoo-ha music that we're getting now, if anything, I mean, you have to pay us. You do have to do the paying, because this is ridiculous music that we have out there. The female rappers that you mentioned are not doing anything iconic, okay? Like, what you... It doesn't even make any sense. He needs to cut us a check for exposing us to that kind of nonsense in the name of female rap. Now, let me just insert what he had to say, and then I will catch you afterwards.
I need a check from Ice Spice. I need a check from Sexy Red. All the girls, Megan Thee Stallion, anybody that's running around shaking their ass. Male rap is on some bull right now. I'm sorry. The females are winning. They're doing everything that I did. I'm still waiting for these girls to send me a check. I need a check from Ice Spice, who turned it around and drop it in like it's hot and doo-doo browning. I need a check from her. I need a check from Sexy Red. That Red, my friend. My man Stan. Shouts out to Stan. Stan the man. I don't need a check from him. That's my dog. That's his record company. All Megan Thee Stallion. Anybody that's running around shaking their
Now, the next thing that we are going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Halle Bailey and Chloe Bailey. Now, they were out there doing a Q&A, and they were talking about the moments that Halle discovered that she was pregnant. Now, according to Halle, she's telling us that, well, the first person that she ever told that she was pregnant is definitely her sister, Chloe. And from the interaction, they're like, well, initially, Chloe did think that she was joking, but with time, she then realized that, well, it wasn't actually a joke. Indeed, the girl was pregnant and things like that, and they seem to be so excited for each other and for that journey that Halle has been on as a mother. And I was just like, it's so heartwarming to see how supportive of each other they are. Now, one thing you can't say about these girls is they don't support each other. You can't say that about them. They're always supportive to each other, and it's such a beautiful sisterhood to watch. Like just looking at their growth from the time they were doing those covers and stuff, and now where they are now. It's amazing. Speaking about Chloe Bailey, I just, you know what, let me just insert what they had to say, and then I'll speak about what I wanted to say, after that entire video.
Chloe's reaction to your pregnancy. So, funny story. Chloe was the first person that I called. After me and Daryl found out, I had to go to the airport, like, right away, and I picked up my phone and I called Chloe. I think it was like, no way. I think she didn't believe me. She thought I was joking when I told her. And then I just remember hearing, and she was happy for me immediately.
I was so excited because, he's like my baby as well. And I just really, really love him. He just makes me so happy. I can't explain it.
Listening to you.
Yes, you make me so happy. I love you. He makes me so happy. So I was just ecstatic from day one, to be honest.
Yeah. Chloe was always happy. And the running joke in our family would always be, oh, Halle's going to be the one to have the kids first. Halle's going to be the one to get married first, because how much I guess I always would say I want kids. And now it's happening for me.
I think he's like the greatest blessing. So I'm happy he's like a little addition.
He is.
So he's made our life more fun,
there
for sure.
you heard that, you guys.
What
Now,
was Chloe?
Speaking about Chloe Bailey, I did see some person when people were discussing Heavy on It and things like that. You do know that lately people have been questioning Nicki Minaj's record label, saying that, boy, it doesn't have enough, it can't do anything for people and things like that. And somebody was saying that, well, people should not sign to other artists. Look at what Chloe Bailey and Beyonce, the entire situation there. Beyonce is not doing enough for Chloe Bailey and things like that. And whilst I understand where people are coming from, saying that, well, signing to an artist is a little bit challenging. But if we are going to be honest, even back in the day when the girls were doing covers and things like that, there was probably no other record label willing to sign them. Nobody even considers that, okay? That for Beyonce to actually sign them, she was actually doing them a favor in that moment. During that time when they were singing Timmy Turner, no record label was out there signing them. So Beyonce gave them a chance. And then they started shining a little brighter after they started getting associated with Beyonce. And now people forget where they were before they got signed. So now it looks like Beyonce hasn't done anything. Now, I'm not saying this to defend the deal, because I don't know the details of the deal. But I know that whatever the deal was way better than them singing those covers on YouTube. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes, yeah, it's kind of tricky. I did see, I think, something from Nana Fofi where she was addressing the record label thing. Yeah, I found it. She said, unfortunately, the label situation that I was very excited about fell flat. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity I was given, but in the end, it wasn't the right situation for me. I'm also not throwing shade. I was replying to the vile things some people be saying on this app. It's only love from my end, and I'll continue to drop music independently for now. That's Nana Fofi. I guess she then decided to delete it or something like that. Or was it the post that she was responding to that was deleted? Now, first of all, when it comes to record labels and deals, you guys, it's not every deal that's gonna be able to take you to the next level. That's one thing. And I feel like with nowadays with a lot of artists, they want the label to do everything for them. That's why I feel like Heavy on It would probably not work on a lot of female rappers because very few of them are willing to put in the work that the likes of Nicki Minaj, the likes of people that came before her, the amount of work that they put on, they don't want that. They just want the microwave support. Like, give me money for everything. Get a writer. Get somebody to put on, to give me the cadence. Dress me up. Put me there. Link me with that. Do that. And on top of that, I don't want a 360. Now, where are you going to get an investor who's going to be able to do that? Like you. So what are you bringing to the table? Your Instagram followers. So I feel like this entire, record label thing, I don't know for Nicki Minaj. I don't know if it's the right thing for her to do right now because a lot of these female rappers are really lazy. They want the Transformer kind of deal. That's like the standard that these record labels put out there. Like you just need to have a following. You just need to have a social media personality and that's enough for you to be a female rapper. So nobody wants to start from the bottom. So of course, the bigger record labels will look lucrative to them because they feel like, well, they're gonna do a lot for them. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. That being said, signing to an artist, I do agree with you guys that, well, it can be a bit tricky. That's a fact. Okay, that can be a little bit tricky. And signing to an artist with a work ethic like Beyonce's or Nicki Minaj, it even makes it worse. Okay, because trust me, those two people are not even going to expect to baby feed you. They will want you to put in the work, and a lot of girls, like I said, don't want to do that. Chloe, however, on the other hand, she works hard. She does a choreo. She does a thing. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. And thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. I post each and every single day and I keep you updated on what's happening in the celebrity world on Instagram, on Twitter, and about all things trending. Until my next one, see you.